Trying to stick out can be a hard thing to do, so the best thing you could do to try and change that would be to make something that most people wouldn't think work. And a team of developers would set out to do that with Mirror's Edge. Did it work out? Well, let's see. So in some city that has something wrong with it because everything is white, we find our main character Faith, a runner. Someone who gives information to people in a way the government can't track, because in case you didn't notice, with everything being white, the government in this world is really bad and did something that is never explained, which rubs me the wrong way, especially since the game says that the general public didn't care about what happened. Like, it's pretty hard for me to believe that most of the public wouldn't care that the gov's gonna do something that would make it really powerful. But let's continue. After the tutorial, the story begins with Faith rushing to a building to find a man killed by a gun. Their sister there who, surprise, has a gun. But of course it wasn't her because she's related to Faith? And with the only evidence there being a strange piece of paper with Project Icarus written on it, it's up to us to try and clear her name and uncover the truth about Project Icarus. Now this is the spoiler-free part of the review, so if you want to keep yourselves pure, go to here. So if you thought the story wasn't going to bring my suspension of disbelief some more, then you're sorely mistaken. Project Icarus turns out to be a way for the police to capture the runners, and are you seriously telling me that the government had that much trouble being able to shoot them that they had to resort to this? I mean, the enemies we face are part of some private mercenary squad that has a lot of influence. So to get that influence, it would have had to be really good. You know, like being able to shoot a moving target. Next, it didn't really take this long for anybody to think that they just start teaching their mercenaries to parkour like the runners. Like, you would have thought they would have done that when they started to consider them a threat, but no. I'm really questioning why nobody cared when the government was becoming this powerful. With people this incompetent, they probably would have sold nukes to the Nigerian prince because the plot twists are also pretty weak. One is that the person who trained the police is your friend Celeste, who, no joke, the first time I saw this, I forgot her name because she was given like 5 whole seconds of screen time throughout the game. So the shock was basically non-existent. It also doesn't help that I was playing Persona 5, a game that also has a traitor that handled it so much better. With the traitor getting some screen time that would both let the audience try to piece together who they think it is, and making the reveal a big shock. Next is the supposed big bad, Jackie. Oh, okay, yeah, that. He was also given 5 seconds total screen time, which made the reveal have as little impact as a bunny punch you. Are you starting to see the problem? The game dev devotes so little time to fleshing things out that things that are supposed to have major impacts are dangerously lacking. And this goes to other characters as well for character building moments. Faith is so boring. I did not care about the things like her sister. She just has so little moments of not being about gotta go rescue my sister that it makes me wish I was playing as literally anything else but Faith. The only character I like was Merc. He had some funny lines of dialogue, and sure, that may sound like a really stupid reason, but when every other character sucks, one that doesn't and gives me some reason to like him is a godsend. Mirror's Edge knows how to make itself look good, with great use of things like motion blur and gleam, though sometimes the gleam can make things too bright, like this game is 90% white. Who thought this would be a good idea? I swear, some moments can be blinding. Well, it did lead to some of my favorite aspects of the game's style, the use of colors. The areas that do have some colors to them look really good, and sometimes the game manages to mix the use of color and white, and it's something that is a pleasure to look at. The cutscenes don't have that same flair in terms of color, but I did like the comic book style they went with, though sometimes the faces could look a bit off. I can't say that many things about the music. While not terrible, it's mostly atmospheric. Fits with the level, but if I was just listening to it without playing the level, I doubt it would stay with me. Mirror's Edge being a first-person platformer didn't sit well with most of the people who first played the game, and I was initially a part of that crowd. It being first-person makes it hard to judge your distance, so you could think you have some edgelets where you have to make a jump just to fall off the building. But for me at least, I was able to get used to it pretty quickly. That being said, the first-person camera angle can lead to some tedious things, like whenever you have to climb, you can't see where you're going unless you stop, and the same goes for going down poles. It sucks. Now to step away from the camera, the outside section of the games are boring. They have little to no interesting things to do aside from being filler until you get to the main part of the levels, which are pretty good. The platforming in there is nice and slow, which I think works well with the first person camera, as you aren't doing something that might require some complex camera movement. Occasionally. Sometimes the game has to shove some action in there, and that usually means enemy, which leads to fighting. Now hand-to-hand fighting isn't that bad. It's simple, but it works, and it's probably the best way to fight off enemies, because using guns suck. Your movement is hindered unless you're carrying a handgun, which very few enemies use, and the handguns suck because they have so little ammo. And speaking of ammo, you have no idea how much ammo you have, so you could be in the middle of a fight with a bunch of enemies shooting at you and have your gun lose all its ammo, and then all you can do is wait for your death. Oh, and did I mention that using a gun is the best way to deal with enemies? Yeah, have fun. Mirror's Edge has some good platforming at times, but is hampered down by what comes before it and sometimes during it, and the story has too many things to keep you uninvested or that don't make sense. The game isn't that great, but it's nothing too bad, but it could have done a whole lot better. So with that, I'm out. Please tell me how much of an idiot you thought I was, or if you didn't think I was, hey, maybe like or even subscribe. But until next time.